Hey y'all, Quabila Jones here, host of the Q Spot podcast. Make sure to be intentional with your words, your thoughts, and your actions. And please subscribe, like, follow, share, and hit the notification bell. Jay Christian of the Cognac Room podcast joins me in discussing unrealistic relationship expectations. Hey y'all, QB here, host of the Q Spot podcast. Welcome to another video series edition, and I am joined by the oh so handsome, lovely Mr. J Christian from the Cognac Room. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am wonderful. I wish I had some sound effects, but I'll leave it to other people who can really handle all that multitasking while they're doing this stuff. But I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight's topic is one like this came to me a while ago. One because I used to be married. I'm not gonna beat that dead horse. Y'all can listen to my podcast on Anchor and hear all them stories. However, then I'm watching other people go through their relationship stuff. So the topic is unrealistic relationship expectations. And then I watch a lot of TV, reality show, blah, blah, blah. And it's like people just do the most and nothing at all at the same time. So, Jay, first, before we get started, I like to give my guests the courtesy of introducing themselves and giving all their plugs. No shameless plugs around here.
All right. My name is Jay Christian. I am the host of the Cognac Room podcast. You can find us on all streaming platforms such as Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also, we are on Grind City TV every Thursday at 9 p.m. We are also on Diva Speaks Relationships every Friday around
Wow,
10 p.m. And we have a YouTube channel, the Cognac Room Podcast. So definitely go over there and show us some love.
that is absolutely amazing. Okay, y'all,
Thank
look.
you.
Start with the Instagram and Facebook. That'll lead you to everywhere else. So look, go
Yeah.
check him out. Him and his partners are wonderful. They do a great job, and their content is so engaging, and it's everybody has their own style, and I just particularly like you. Network trips me up, particularly like you. Y'all look, don't mind me. Some words trip me up, and I might have to say it like a kindergarten. It's okay, but we're gonna move on. But we're gonna move on. Okay, so of course, people should know by now I'm a nerdy girl. So I did some research and I wrote down a few notes and so. But
Mhm.
first, so before we get too deep into expectations, I want to break down expectations versus standards. When you sign a contract, there are some things that are just standard. You're the payee, the creditor, the blah blah blah, whatever other terminology is on there. You agree to do X, Y, Z. I feel like when you enter into a relationship agreement, you agree to do whatever the minimum is for a relationship. I'm going to love and respect, you, treat you well, do these things, for you that come with a relationship, whatever that means for you and your partner. So, though, for me, that's standards. What are your thoughts on standards versus expectations? Do you feel like, no, I'm not even going to ask the leading, I'm not going to lead you. I'm just wanting to
No,
hear.
it's fine. Go ahead.
Do you think some people misconstrue standards versus expectation? We're going to just start there
Yeah.
first.
I do. I think that some people, yeah, they it's a very thin line and it gets blurred a lot. I feel like everyone should have standards, things that, just are not acceptable, you know? Um, yeah, like, I know a lot of women are quick to say I'm not gonna be a secret. I feel like that's a standard. That's not so much an expectation. Like the
Yeah,
standards are the basics. You know what I mean?
yes.
So yeah, I do think there is a definite difference.
And I want to say this before going forward. Expectations can get you hurt, can get you okay. My sister um always tells me the higher the expectation, the lower the serenity. So the more you expect, and especially what you don't express, and we're definitely gonna get into that, the lower your peace of mind, the lower your sanity, your serenity is. So you want all this up here. Well, something's gonna have to give down there. So
Hmm.
yeah. So we'll definitely get into that. And then are your expectations okay, this is one of my questions. Do you think sometimes we as people, people, men and women, set the bar too high with expectations? Like we want some astronomical stuff. Like, come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've complained about that a lot in the years past of women having very unrealistic expectations, very high expectations. And a lot of the times I've found that the women who have those expectations aren't bringing much themselves.
Hmm. Yeah. And I've been told by a life coach, okay, if like I'm in a place where I'm not dating, I'm not even really looking, because I know what I'm trying to do for myself first before I enter into another agreement.
Hmm.
But she was like, you still need to prepare yourself, but you also need to make a list. List what you want or what you desire in your partner. And so then check yourself by that list. And so that can kind of keep you humble, but it will keep you
Absolutely.
humble.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but I do think sometimes we set the bar too high. Um, we look at other people and we gauge them or we judge them, or we measure them by our life, by our goals and missions and what we're doing. Not everyone is going to be just like you. Not this. They're just not. I'm just gonna say that.
Very
They're just
true. Very true. I think the beauty in most relationships is are the polarizing things, like the differences. If you're an outgoing person, being like an outgoing person, I appreciate someone who's not as outgoing as I am. Those things. So accepting people for who they are and accepting the differences is definitely like the groundwork for a successful relationship. The problem is people don't want to really accept people for who they are. They want to fit them into a mold and try to yeah.
like, yes. They want to change them and make them into this who they feel should fit their. Ooh, mm. Okay, example. I've seen women, and I have to admit, I've been a little bit like this before. Okay, so we women like me, we are not real flashy, but every now and then like to go to formal or semi-formal events.
Mhm.
And we like a guy who wants to go. And sometimes we end up with a guy who's like, I don't want to go on a tie, let alone. And then we kind of get in our feelings, we get huffy, and we're like, why did I even do this? It's like that one moment makes us question the whole relationship because he didn't want to do that one thing that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Can you give any kind of examples of from a male's perspective of maybe
Um
expectation
let's see.
that some men may have that's unrealistic for women?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Like sex all day, several
Oh,
times a week.
then none of that happened.
Just laying in the bed, watching TV, screwing, order some food, watch a little more TV, screw again, and doing this several times a week. That's an unrealistic expectation. Although maybe there was a time when we were younger that we got that type of activity. But when
Mhm.
you get older, you have children, you have responsibilities, you have life's pressures and stresses on you. A lot of women are not down for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is definitely an unrealistic expectation that I believe all men kind of have. Like, oh, I'm gonna get with this woman, we gonna, you know, either cohabit or get married or whatever, and it's just gonna be sex on a platter all the time. That's not true.
So let's just stay right here for just a moment because
Hmm.
I want people to really grasp what you just said. Okay. I'm sorry, these words are killing me. Oh, okay. We like you said, like, okay, so let's take us, we're podcasters. And so this right here, the camera is the easy part. And you've said it, other people have said it. This is the easiest part of what we do.
Hmm.
It's the research, it's the lining up guests, it's the researching your topic to make some creating a list of valid talking points and okay, is this gonna be interesting, engaging, blah blah yada yada. Then there's the whole creating graphics, promos,
Hmm.
marketing, all of that jazz that goes into podcasting alone. And so look, my brain, let me tell y'all, since Christmas Eve, I've probably gotten 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night, and that's
Sheesh.
or in the mornings because I've stayed up to 5:30, 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
Just late hours because my brain is on overdrive overnight. Um, I couldn't work an overnight job on my feet because I'd be sleepy, but for whatever reason, I can stay up all night on a computer, laptop, computer or tablet,
Mm-hmm.
and just doing different stuff. Anyway, so we need a partner who can understand and respect that. Um, for women, I can only speak for myself. We go through certain cycles in life, and I'm over a certain age, and while my drive is not low, it's just there are times when I don't want to be emotionally. I don't want to be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
leave my face. Just I don't know. I'm good with hand holding. I don't need all the extra. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
It happens.
just go. I'm trying to keep it PC, here because I want to keep it family friendly for a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say, if there are any kids watching, then I'm sorry, not sorry. Adults take notes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to have fun, but definitely getting
Absolutely.
you know, some real deal. Because people are getting into relationships like they're a trend.
Yes.
Like relationships are not trends. They shouldn't be treated like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
People
mhm.
almost treat um a mate or a spouse like a pet. Like, like it's like buying a dog nowadays. Oh, yeah. And then they don't have what it takes to even maintain a relationship a lot of times. That's why we see so many failed relationships.
Now, something that was discussed, I was on somebody else's platform, and the particular topic was about race and relationships and this, that, and the other. And I brought up a point about past unhealed trauma. Now, there are people who carry stuff, men and women. They either don't know how to heal, they don't want to, and so they're carrying around this baggage. And so I think some people have expectations of their partner without realizing or even respecting this baggage, and then either helping them work through it or find a way to work through it or just leaving them alone until they can work. Like, so we don't talk enough. You know, we don't talk enough or we don't deal with stuff enough. And I've made this comment before. I think people look at me like I'm crazy and think I'm an old lady. Why does sex have to be so important in a relationship? Because that can blur the lines and energies get entangled. I know that's a big word. um, and then we just kind of lose focus because all we think about is the sex.
Yeah. Yeah. I've made that mistake. Like I joke about and I tell everybody I've been married 3 times. One of those times if I'm honest, I got married based on the sex.
Now,
And I
did
got
this?
married very fast. It was like after 7.5 weeks. Yeah. Foolish, huh?
That was your reasoning. Like,
Yeah.
no one can judge you, and maybe you needed that experience in your life. Who knows? I feel that every experience, good, bad, indifferent, was needed for us for our growth and elevate
Absolutely.
where we're gonna go in life. So it was an experience. It happened, and here we are.
Yeah. I grew from it, I'll tell you that.
Okay. And so hopefully you can use that experience to help other people who are navigating relationships, considering marriage, and whatever else the case may be.
Was that? Yeah. Yeah. There are lots of people most people that when I really look at things, the way the world is set up right now, most people that are seeking to get married are seeking to get married for the wrong reason, which is number one why most of them don't last.
Okay. What
So,
would you say is that reason? Or are there several?
there are several. I think
Okay.
one of them is a fear of being alone, obviously. Um, number two, I think is, for the sex and with social media, especially. I hate to say this. But I gotta be real. They want to floss the ring. They want to, do the matching pajamas thing around the holidays. They want to show their friends and show off these things and stuff. Um, yeah, I know for a fact that there are a lot of people who want to get married, as you stated earlier, because it's the trendy thing to do, and they lack the tools to navigate a successful relationship.
Yeah. I will say this. I know it's not time for closing points and words of encouragement. That sounds like church. Word encouragement.
Wow.
Okay. Like, I'm gonna say those thoughts for later, and I will try to find another time with simple words of encouragement. Okay, I must be some more water today. I'm totally off my. Okay, we're gonna move it on. Move along.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so are you willing? This is one question I want people to really reflect on. And
Hmm.
I brought this thing earlier, but are you really willing to match the list you have for your partner? Like many women say, "Oh, I want this tall, athletic." Okay, that's a fantasy sometimes,
Yeah.
but okay, he needs to make a lot of money. He needs to be a family man, God fearing, this, that, and all these things on the list. But can you or are you willing to match him? So if you
Mm,
meet an athletic man, 9 times out of 10, he goes to the gym somewhere down the line. Are you
right.
willing to go to the gym? Are you willing to change your behaviors to match him?
Hmm.
I'm sure he doesn't want a lazy wife.
Exactly. I notice.
Um,
Go ahead. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, I thought you were. I thought you were.
No, I'm
Uh,
done.
so yeah. So I'll say this. Um, a lot of women want a man that's going to go out and make the money and let them stay at home. What are you going to do with that time that you're in the home? How will that time be spent? Because if you're going to sit around watching TV and shopping online and scrolling social media, that's a problem. If you're
Hmm.
going to be at home, and I hate to get into this because people are going to, play the gender roles card or whatever. But even if it were the other way around and the man were at home, he should be doing active things in the home. She should be doing things in the home to make the home a better place while this man is out making money. Also, we've seen the post, we've heard it. You want a hardworking man that's, bringing home the bacon, but you want him to be a family man. In reality, if he's working a lot and he's really busy and he's successful at what he's doing, his time at home is going to be limited. So you
Yeah.
have to figure out, which evil you're willing to choose and deal with and tolerate.
Well, yeah. So yeah, there's that until he either makes a whole lot of money and has a nice little residual income
Right.
saving something over here that where he can reduce his hours, or
Hmm.
you are making enough money, ma'am, to match to balance out this budget
That's
so
right.
he doesn't have to kill himself at work. Like
That's
there's
right.
gotta be some give and take here. Um, like with my podcast, I want to be super successful. And I've had this discussion with other people. Yes, I would like a man who makes his own money, but I don't need his money. Like, if
Right.
he's willing, if he offers to pay like the bills, I know some men they say I will pay the bills. You take care of maybe groceries or whatever other lighter stuff. I want to be in a relationship. If that's the case, my money's gonna be the extra. We're gonna have a savings. We're gonna have all these stocks and bonds and whatever else. If we want to take a trip in the middle of the week, my money's gonna pay for all the extra stuff.
Hmm.
you know? And it's not like I need and want. I'm not going for his pockets. That's not my goal when I get with a guy. I don't go for his pockets. You
Right.
know, I want to be secure in my own. And that's another reason why I'm just not trying to get into a relationship because I need to be in a different tax bracket, to
Okay.
say the
I get
least.
you. I get you.
But not everybody thinks like that, you know.
Unfortunately, I mean that's a good thing and it's a double edged sword. It's a good thing and it's a not so good thing because I feel like sometimes we deprive ourselves of something great because we feel like we're not ready. And it's a good thing. So there's balance. It's a thin line because sometimes we may feel like we're not ready, but we qualify. And then a lot of us sometimes feel like we're ready and we don't qualify.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. I feel like I'm in that I'm ready, and it's not because I'm lonely. I I would like to spend my life with someone. I would like to share the highs and lows. Like when good things happen, I find myself in a space where I want to tell my person, whoever my person is, and I kind of don't have a person that I can go to and be like. Sometime in life, we want to have that one person who's the first person we tell all the good stuff. It's like, oh, this had just happened. Let me tell you, and because it's like you don't want to. You'll tell your other friends later, but you want your person to be the first.
Hmm.
To hear. And maybe I'm just living in this whimsical fantasy world, but that's who I am. That's how I am, and I'm not gonna apologize for that. You
That's
know.
not asking too much. It's not asking too much.
So while I feel like I'm ready, going back to what you said, I don't feel like I'm quite qualified. And there's some other things going on in my life. I'm sure people can see the background setting. I'm not in a hospital, but I'm not at home. And so that's another aspect of, why I'm not qualified or not quite ready. So,
Okay. Yeah.
and it's truth that's I'm learning to deal with, and I'm working through it. But anyway, so if there's a man who can accept me as I am and willing to work with me as I go through the changes and to getting better, then God bless him.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that. I'm sorry, I'm like a little dog watching a squirrel. Sorry. Okay, let's talk about the longevity, the long term, the ups and downs, and highs and lows.
Hmm.
Um, People put these expectations on relationships, but do you think they take into account the what ifs or the you know do you think they create enough strategic do they do enough strategic planning when it comes to a relationship? Because you have to account for the what if we're 35 and one of us gets in an accident, we can't walk, you know
Mm,
what if someone is gets cancer? That's
hmm.
an ordeal to deal with. Am I
Hmm.
going to be willing to be there? Like,
Yeah, I don't think most people with the high expectations think like that because to a degree they're living in fairy tale or they want the fairy tale. So they're just
okay,
focused on all the good parts, not realizing that, you know, impotency could be an issue down the road, not realizing that a woman could potentially go through something that could put sex on the back burner,
mhm,
physically. And so you have to be realistic and say, will I be with this woman if I have to take care of her? Will I be with this man if I have to bathe him and feed him and wipe his butt? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
people aren't thinking about that. They're only thinking about all the glamorous stuff. And that's how excuse me, that's how we're missing out on uh true love. Because true love says, hey, I don't care what happens, I got you.
yes, sir, most definitely. So people, and we're not saying change, but we're nudging you to adjust those expectations just a little bit. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, because life happens hard and fast, and without our permission, and most times, and life offers no apologies either. So,
None.
whew,
None.
if you can't prepare for everything, you can't prepare for the unknown, but you can prepare, just like we prepare with tornadoes, okay? Stockpile some water and batteries. In a relationship, find ways to prepare for the unknowns. I'm gonna say this. I know this is not even part of the conversation. It's a whole nother conversation. Have a savings plan, a savings period.
Yeah,
Stops. Something. You need an
absolutely.
extra something. And I can say, going back to my marriage one more time, that's where we went wrong in a lot of ways. We didn't put anything in order. We just didn't do a lot the right way. And because of what I experienced, I now know what to and not to do. So, yeah. Okay, that horse is gone. We're gonna leave that alone. Yeah. Okay. Now here's another expectation. And I'm seeing this over and over and over. The statement is, my statement is, you knew my life when you met me.
Hmm.
Why do you want me to change now?
Mm.
And then
Mm.
why are you complaining? Prime example, you mentioned about the man working a lot. He got to take care of the house and the family. He's not going to have a lot of time. You knew he worked 100 hours a week. That's just exaggeration.
Hmm.
Why are you complaining? You chose to enter into an agreement with this man, ladies. You knew he worked 100 hours a week. You knew he wasn't going to have the time. The
Mm.
time he has, he's sleeping and bathing and eating. Not in that order. But why are you complaining?
Hmm. Exactly.
What are your thoughts
Exactly.
or examples you would like to give?
I'll say this. I believe that a lot of us are very immature when it comes to relationships. Like, we may be mature in finances, we may be mature in everyday life, but our relationship level of maturity is trash because
Mm,
maybe we haven't had many, or maybe we went through some traumatic shit. Excuse me, excuse my French. That kind of threw us off track and stunted our growth relationally speaking, right? And we have a level of immaturity. It's the image of the child that's in the store saying, I want this, I want that, I want this. And you're saying, hey, it's a lot of responsibility. You want this puppy, but once you get the puppy, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do that. And it's like, I'll do it, I'll do it. And then you get the puppy and somebody tells you to pick up some poop and you stomping and carrying on. In the moment,
mm,
you feel like you can handle whatever is coming along because you want that relationship, because you want that person. And then once you have it and reality starts to set in, now you look, you're gonna have to. I knew you sat around and played PlayStation all day, every day when I met you, but now it's time to no. You accepted him doing that. So why should he think that he would ever have to change?
yeah. And I've seen couples, and not giving away the details, but it was very close to home couple that I knew. And they were younger, so I hate to say it was expected of them, but anyway, the guy was is very modest. The girl was cut out there. You know, when she was single, it was cheeks out, cleavage out, everything. You
Okay.
know, and now that they're in a relationship, he expected her without telling her, you know, that he would like her to dress differently, more modestly. He was like, in his mind, she should want to change or want to be. Well, you can't expect that of her without having a conversation about it. Um, Sorry, she's not going. Everybody doesn't think like that. You would think that they would, like, okay, I had a conversation with one of my goddaughters. She met a guy who was a minister, youth minister, and he used to call her out on the way she dressed. And she was like, she got all huffy in her feelings and just, how dare he? I'm like, well, I mean, if you were really going to date him long term and then in turn be a minister's wife, what do you think? I said, what do you think? Like, I'm not trying to change you or judge you. I need you to think about what that would look like with you posting certain things on social media, but you're dating someone who's in the church or dating someone who has a reputation already built. Like,
Yeah.
and I know whoever listen to this that are Bible believers and religious people, don't. I I go to church. I read the Bible.
Mhm.
I I know everybody's not the same. I know women should want to adjust for their man, especially if he's in a certain position. And not just a minister, if he worked in a certain position in the corporate world.
Right.
You want to represent and, reflect your husband. We'll move on because I feel I'm getting on that anyway.
But see,
But
that's the thing. Like, if that's what attracted me to you, the type of person that I am, I'm not gonna come along and want you to change that. I'm not so insecure that I have an issue with people looking at you. Now, of course, if I'm a preacher, a pastor, then obviously I don't want you coming to church with your boobs and your tail hanging out.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But you can still have an element of, sexy if you want to wear something tight. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a very traditional type person anyway. So I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I just feel like it's wrong to, and I find that it happens a lot. The same thing that attracts us to people are the very things that eventually become a problem in a relationship. Case in point, I'm like the fun guy, the party guy, I like to hang out. I'm somewhat charismatic or whatever, right? So they're like, women have been like, oh man, he's so much fun. I have so much fun with you. Oh my God, you know what I mean? And then later on down the road, that's the exact thing that's like, you're out again, like you're partying again, like this shit is getting old. So yeah, that's kind of the way that it does go. The same things sometimes that attract us to people become the things that create problems in a relationship.
well, that's a mouthful. Um, I'm a kind of nerdy girl. I love to talk. I love to read and research, and
Mm-hmm.
I get all lit up when I know something. And I'm like, ooh. And if you were attracted to the intelligent part of me at first, and then later on it's like, okay, you really talk too much.
Yeah,
Look, I'm telling you now, whoever's out there listening, God, if you're listening, um, I talk a lot. I'm a podcaster. I talk a lot.
exactly.
So again, you knew my life before you met me. You chose to enter into this agreement.
Hmm.
I mean, take it or leave it. Like, if you're not ready for all that comes along with this, just keep on walking. It's just keep on walking. I would rather you just ghost me and leave. Just go. We speak and move on. just go.
No,
That's
I
my
get it.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Um. Now, how can unexpressed expectations ruin in a relationship? Because I've been through that. My
Yeah.
husband, okay, I'm gonna bring this horse out again. Me and my ex-husband, we had expectations of each other, but we didn't tell each other. And then we get mad and build this Chinese wall when we don't see things happening the way we think they should happen. But we never
Hmm.
told each other what we wanted to happen. So
Exactly. We assume that they're just gonna know, and I I feel like a lot of times women, especially, I'm sorry, ladies, um, expect us to just know, to do a little
yeah,
bit of mind reading, to read these ambiguous signals or whatever, right? And I just feel like a lot of times we definitely don't express our expectations, and those are usually the points that become the Achilles heels in the relationship.
mhm,
That's where the relationship starts to break down, because it's like, when I got with you, I knew that you had this job, but I thought you would have done something more by now. Well, did you
mhm,
express that? Did we have that conversation? We never had it. You just assumed that it would happen.
yep,
So, yeah, that's one of the major destruction points, I think. That's my opinion, but I think that's one of the main reasons that people fall out.
yeah. Um, I wrote down some example. Okay, like having breakfast ready. And then there are people that are breakfast people. And you know, it's like in some situations, depending on who is the cook, you know, the other person might expect, well, they know I gotta go to work or they know I get up at this time. They don't have to be wherever they gotta be until whatever. They should have breakfast ready for me. Mm. No, I'm good with a cup of coffee and a piece of fruit and some music, and that's my morning. I'm not a breakfast person. Now, I will eat some bacon, but I gotta have coffee and just like that's it. I don't need a lot for breakfast. Now for lunch, yeah, we doing it up for lunch. But anyway, that's one example. And then okay, we as women, we expect the man to get the oil change, wash the car, put gas in our car, like he drive our car all the time. you know,
Right, right.
I was driving all week. You should have said, "Let baby, let me." There are some men who are courteous and say, "Baby, let me get your keys," and he go do
Hmm.
whatever.
That's right.
We don't. We shouldn't expect because he's the man
Right.
to go do that.
That's right. I'll tell you this. Sometimes that representative rears his ugly head, right? And in the beginning, because he's trying to get you, he'll come and cut your grass for you. He'll fill your car up and all of that. And then you get together and it's like the newness wears off and it's like he doesn't even think about it anymore. It's not that I don't want to say he tricks you. Maybe it wasn't intentional. You know what I mean? But sometimes the way we start is not always the way we finish, most of the time. And I think a lot of women do the same thing. Like you said with the breakfast, they'll cook you breakfast, they'll give you all the loving you want because they're trying to get you, reel you in. Once they got you, now it's like, no, I got a headache. No, I'm tired. You know what I mean? So it happens.
Yes, and then let's just talk about physical health. Um, yes, a lot of people gain weight when they get in marriages, and I'm not trying to shame anybody because, but if you got with someone and you were in decent shape, not to say you were just skinny, whatever, but you were in decent shape and decent health, why would you want to maintain that? Um, or you, how can I say? Let me flip this around to, okay, I'm trying to fix it because, okay, there's that expectation that men have this expectation of women. She's gonna keep
Hmm.
that hard body. She's gonna keep her hair and nails and all this stuff done, and she's gonna look nice all the time. And
Hmm.
then we turn on, and then we sit on the couch with a bag of chips. We go to the gym none that week.
Hmm.
Um, we have no makeup on. We got our hair in some braids, little plaits, and a bonnet on. Just whatever.
Yeah.
And like we slowly, women, and I can only speak for myself. Women start to get comfortable. Well,
Yes.
he's now, so
Yeah.
I ain't got to just be fixed up, sit on the couch. I can just look like whatever.
Hmm.
But and this may be unrealistic, unnecessary, whatever anybody want to say, but I feel like you should still, not saying do full glam, but make your man when he look at you like, that's my woman. She's
Hmm.
so, just something. Like
Absolutely.
I don't have to have on makeup all the time. And I've had people tell me, "You're so pretty." I'm like, "But I don't have that." And it's me like pointing out my flaws, and they're like, "That's not even important," you know.
Hmm. Hmm. I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
anyway,
and that's one of the things too, because I'm the type we gonna gain weight together, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we happy, we gonna be eating good, we gonna be drinking good, we gonna sit on the couch together. We'll gain weight together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you a little bit of this dad bod real quick. You know what I mean? Um, but then if it gets to a point, then we'll also get in shape together. Is that sort of thing for me? I've never been. I don't know. Like I guess I went through a phase where I was really superficial like that. But then once you kind of grow to understand what's most important, those things don't really matter. Because one of the things that I always tell myself and have told myself is no matter how beautiful she is today, we're both gonna age. And
yes,
those looks will go away. Those tits are gonna sag. You know what I mean? Balls are gonna drag the ground or whatever, but nobody stays the same. And so that's part of that preparation or the realistic expectation you were talking about. You have to foresee it and be willing to accept it.
that's right. All right then. Okay, then you brought up gender roles, and that goes along with take the trash out. Well, if you see it full, take it out. So those, they may seem like minor expectations, but I have seen and heard people talk about that has been some of their biggest arguments. Those little things that they think other people should just automatically know and do, that they don't, it becomes big. And it's sad that it becomes a big thing when it's just something. We're supposed to be bringing 100, not 50-50 to this thing.
Hey.
If you see something, do it. don't wait for the other person. And for those women who have been so independent, it's okay to lower that independence, but it's okay to, if he didn't go get your oil change, the light is on, you know where to plug the Jiffy Lube. It's like, I'm just saying, there are some
Yeah.
things we need to adjust. I'm not saying lower all the way, but
Mhm.
adjust and express.
It's okay to ask him. You don't necessarily have to do it yourself. If he hasn't noticed it and taken the initiative, it's okay to ask him, like, babe, can you take my car? Some women feel like I shouldn't have to ask you a man. I should, yeah, but you don't know what all's going on in that man's head.
Excuse me.
You good.
Um, yes, most definitely. So let me tell you, y'all better start talking about more than just nonsense. When you're arguing over some petty, stupid, small stuff, it's gonna lead to something bigger for no reason. For no reason at all.
Facts.
Alrighty. So let's get into some problem solving techniques. So we talked about, okay, so all these unexpressed expectations, all these unrealistic expectations that you as a human being bring into a relationship, there are ways to, I hate to say fix, problem solve. um, there are some ways to work around and try to maintain your balance and get back to that place where you still
Hmm.
at least like each other. You love each other. You might not like each other for a day, but you still love each
That's right.
other.
That's right.
Um, the first, most important, you have to communicate. I
Hey,
mean,
that's number one.
you would think there will be a given, but some people just they're not great communicators.
Hmm.
Um, you have to allow each other the space to communicate without consequence as well. Like I tell that to a lot of parents. Children want to tell you what's going on with them. Same thing with adults. Sometimes we want to tell you, but we are afraid of the consequence that's going to
Hmm.
follow.
Facts.
You have anything you want to add to that? I'm sorry.
No, you nailed it. Like that's what I was gonna say. Communication is top dog in this situation because it's not until you could like someone could be doing something that displeases you and you can feel like they're being inconsiderate or they don't care when in fact they don't know, they didn't realize that it was an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I wrote down was first of all, we gotta get once we start communicating, we gotta also make sure we're in the same book, let alone the same page. Are we even in the same book? You over there in Moby Dick, and I'm over here in something else,
Hmm.
Wuthering Heights. So yeah, we got to be in the same book on some pages somewhere close together or something,
That's
and
right.
you gotta learn how to communicate with each other. Open your mouth. Use your words. People, use your words.
Yes.
Okay. Now this may seem whatever, and I found this in my research. Appreciation versus expectation. So learn to appreciate what they do for you versus expecting it all the time. And that can
Mm.
set the temperature, in your relationship. Like when it comes to arguments and things, they take out the trash. Appreciate them. Show some love. Thank you for doing that, honey. I saw that I forgot to pick it up, blah, 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 whatever. You know, honey, I went ahead and got the oil change in the car. I know you've been working a lot of hours and my car needed it. I didn't want anything to happen to the motor, but like, whatever. So
Yeah.
appreciate over expectations. That could probably solve a lot of problems.
Absolutely it can. And it encourages them to step their game up.
Yeah. And who doesn't have to be shown some appreciation? I mean, I don't need flowers and candy and a round of applause and a party for every single thing I do that I'm supposed to do as a human being, a grown up. But just, thank you, honey. I appreciate
Hmm.
you. You didn't have to do that. You went out of your
Hmm.
way. Just kindness goes a long way, and it's free. It's 0.
Absolutely.
All right. And then do not compare. Do not. That's the death of a relationship.
Gee.
Do not compare your relationship to nobody else.
Yeah.
We don't know what go on behind them closed doors. In the front yard, and you're waving at your neighbors, "Hey, Judy, how you doing?" Her husband holding her hand and kissing on her neck. But in the house,
Mm-hmm.
cats and dogs, you know. So don't do that.
You preaching.
It's
You preaching.
look. I'm telling you what I know, what I've seen, what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something I pull out of the air. And when I do all my topics, it's from a personal perspective or personal observation.
Yeah.
And again, and this is real life, you know. So this goes beyond just TV and reality shows, which are not really reality, but um, it goes beyond that. I have a sociology degree, so I'm nosy by nature.
Okay.
I'm put it on the shirt, nosy by nature.
Nosy by nature. Yeah.
Moving on. Now,
Ooh.
mm, now here's my statement. And I'm gonna read it because it's long and whatever. So here's where we're getting down to our closing
Okay.
word. And then you can have the floor and say whatever else you want. If you decide to get in a relationship, adjustments will have to be made. That's an understatement, you know. So you don't go to a new job trying to do the old job skills. Like adjustments have to be made. Um, if you work X number of hours with no sign of changing, do not invite me into your life.
Mm.
That's another thing. If you know you have a certain lifestyle and you know that you're not willing to bend, break, or adjust, do not invite me into your life. If you want a hookup partner, if you want a phone buddy, text buddy, I'll be that. But do not invite me in selling me a long term relationship. Don't do that, please.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and look, you know, I could talk all day, all night. That your first 3 minutes will be free. The next will be 9.99 a minute. But we can. Okay. I yield the floor.
Mm. I mean, I echo what you said. You definitely have to be willing to adjust on the fly. Very important. Be fluid. Also, it helps to have. So a lot of us make a mistake when we get in relationships or we get married. We want to keep our single friends. I'm not saying that you have to let your single friends go, but you have to change the way you think. You have to distance yourself a little bit. You have to change the way you think. And
Yeah.
you can't really listen to them when it comes to your relationship. So it helps, and this is just my opinion, it helps to have people who have had long term successful relationships that you can go to and get a little insight from
Mhm.
because they're going to teach you how they made it 56 years.
Ooh, honey, yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's very important.
All right. So, any final words of advice? I'm not going to say the other word. Just keep popping up in my head.
Listen, at the end of the day, if you're not ready, leave them people alone. Let them be. If you're not ready. And if you think you're ready, and you get into a situation and you realize, hey, this isn't working, it's better to cut your losses then, go ahead and get it over with, than to drag this thing out and waste people's time. I've wasted a lot of women's time, and I've had a few waste my time. And I promise you, it's not pleasant.
And I know me. I know when I get into something, how deep I want to go. So
Mm-hmm.
when God hit me up, and I be like, I give a lot of pushback, and they keep pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
Push, I mean, I pull back. I don't know. I just kind of get like, I don't really. Okay, I'm gonna say this, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't really like someone like that, do not go on dates. Do not have sex with them. Don't go past the late night phone calls and extra this, extra. Just try to tell them from the beginning. Some people are not gonna understand because I've had people be like, "Well, let's just give us a try. I want to get to know you better. You never know." I know me. I know me, and I'm telling you now, this is not gonna go anywhere. you know,
Yeah.
even really want to be friends. Like I don't want to get to know you, like because then if like we keep talking and try to get to know each other, you're gonna develop feelings.
Hmm.
Say this, and I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant when I say this, and it's not even because of my zodiac sign. It's because of who I am. I know my power. I know my charm. I have a tendency to lead people on, and it's I promise it's not. And don't step to me if you're not ready. Like, and when I try to push people away nicely, it seems like they push even harder, and
Yeah.
then their feelings hurt because I pull back harder.
Mm.
When they should have just said, I had one guy tell me, and I was tickled. He's like, "Well, just lose my number, unfollow me on Facebook, baby. It's already done."
Jeez. Cold.
I'm like, I told you from the beginning I wasn't trying to, do anything, and you kept
Mm.
pushing. I told you that. And I tell people, look, I have this leg condition. At the time I was in school in my master's program. That was draining alone. I have a radio show. I don't have time and energy for the distractions.
Mm.
Me are distractions for me. I know this. I know me. So if I tell you not right now, that means okay, thank you, and bow out gracefully. But some people don't get that message. They can't read.
Right. Yeah.
They have no
Yeah.
comprehension skills. And I'm not trying to be funny and boast and brag and put people down. This is just my reality. This is what it is.
No, I get it. Trust me. I do. I understand that.
So anyway, I have been around for long enough. Okay, any final words, Jane? Go ahead and give your plugs again as well.
Okay. Yeah. So like you said, I mean, we have to be very realistic. We have to communicate and we have to be willing to adjust. That's what I'm walking away from this with. Those are the key points that I think you have brought to the table, and I've expounded on a little bit, and it makes a lot of sense. So anyone listening, anyone watching, if you are interested in checking me out, checking us out, I have two female co-hosts who are awesome. They keep me in line. You can catch us on Instagram at the Cognac Room Podcast. You can catch us on Facebook at the Cognac Room Podcast. We have a page over there. You can catch us on YouTube on the Cognac Room Podcast YouTube channel. We have we're on all the major platforms, and like I said earlier, you can catch us on Grind City TV and Diva Speaks Relationships on Thursdays and Fridays. Kubila, I greatly appreciate you having me on. This was awesome.
Thank you so much. I've been trying to get with Jay. Well, okay, y'all, not like that. I've been trying to get with because people take things the wrong way to the wrong
Yeah,
way.
that's true. That's true.
Podcast network was not really little; it's growing, and so I am just happy and blessed that I've encountered you, met you. Y'all hear how he talks very low key, calm. Like that's the groove and vibe of his shows. He's gonna give you the real, but he's gonna just soften the blow. Like, hey, how you doing? Here's the truth right here. You know, I promise you, he don't
Until they
cut.
get over there and hear some of those shenanigans. Because
I
we
mean,
got some shenanigans going.
they cut up a little bit, but it's like I'm gonna give you the truth, just a little bit of sugar and honey,
Mhm.
and look mixed into it.
Very true.
So please check them out. You would not be disappointed. I promise you. The ladies are lovely as well. So,
Yeah,
Jay, thank you so much for being my guest. And I hope this won't be our last time. And if this bipolar winter weather ever make up its mind, maybe people can get well and we can do so much more.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Thank you. I just want to say to everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Q Spot podcast video series. You can catch this on YouTube and check out my other social media links for announcements and promos Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snap, and TikTok. Snapchat, TikTok. Yeah, I'm trying to do it all. Trying to do too much. But anyway, don't forget to, first of all, you got to join the Q crew so you don't miss a beat. Follow, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Don't forget to be intentional with your words, your thoughts, and your actions. And as always, pink sugar kisses, y'all. Bye. Thank you for watching the Q Spot podcast video series. Don't forget to join the Q crew so you don't miss a beat. Follow, like, and share on all of my social media platforms, as well as the major podcast platforms. Lastly, be intentional with your words, your thoughts, and your actions.